Alright, so we just cleaned out the office here. I'm going to skip this stuff that needs organized. This is also shoe stuff. We're going to go right around the corner here. Into our doma, and we're finally going to go through this shoe cupboard. Evan and I and Ponkan and Bosco primarily live in this one large central room in our house while we're sorting through the contents and planning our renovation for the rest of the house. So having a functioning doma is going to make our life a heck of a lot more organized. So I've got an empty crate here to store what I know already is going to be a lot of old shoes. What do you even do with shoes? And then I've got a garbage bag. So let's take a look inside. Well, first off, this is the third umbrella I've found in the last 2 days, which is great. I want to have 10 umbrellas over at the guest house for our guests, and I don't want to buy any umbrellas. So these two here in the corner are the vintage umbrellas that Evan and I use. And so far, I think I have... this should make 6 umbrellas for the guest house. I think the best way to do this is just to pull everything out and then organize from there. Bosco wants to eat all the shoes. Here's what didn't make the cut. We've got a lot of shoe utensils like shoe polish and brushes, as well as a 2013 phone book, some hats with holes in them, that sort of thing. Also toothbrushes. These shoes will also get tossed out. Whatever material they're made of, it actually looks like leather, at least partially leather, but it is crumbling, so they're definitely not savable even by somebody out there who happens to love really old shoes. These ones I just wanted to show you. These are the Japanese style working shoes that clasp all the way up. The box actually says baseball shoes though, so I may be getting them confused with the work shoes that look like Ninja Turtle toes. So maybe the internet can tell me, are these work shoes, baseball shoes, or both? Here's the box where it says baseball shoes. These are actually a nice shape. It's a set of 5 matching house slippers. Now this will be something that we will need for our own house once we actually get it clean and livable. All Japanese houses, if you have tatami floors, you're going to have house slippers for your visitors at your front door. So we'll either keep these to clean up and use for ourselves because they really are just a little bit dusty, or we'll use these over at the guest house. But either way, these are probably not super old. They may have even been purchased when the house was put on the market because they knew people would be walking through the house. So these are definitely savable. So of course we have a random assortment of stuff. We've got some rusty scissors, some work gloves, some handkerchiefs, a little fabric decoration there, a calendar from 1970. This the black material is a raincoat and pants, a baseball hat, and we've got some padlocks. The things with the wheels are for the rolling screens and windows, and 1 broken cufflink. Back here we've got a straw hat, a nice bicycle pump, and some cool vintage boxes that I might use for display. They are vintage shoe cleaner and shoe cream. And we've got quite a collection of these nice ladies' Japanese sandals. The wooden ones in the back are not in very good shape. Those 6 there with the black straps, they all look like they were very well used. These wooden ones here on the end that are wrapped together, they look brand new. And you can see we've got a nice variety of colors here. They are all too small for me though, which is unfortunate. Knowing very little about shoes, but just knowing a little bit about the general style of the decades, I'm going to say that these sandals are a collection of possibly 50s, but more likely 60s and 70s. So these must have been the former lady of the house. Her shoes that was in style the last decade, 2 or possibly 3 that she was living here. And this may not be exciting for some, but we've got another pile of vintage glass here. So these are all the same size and they look to be all the same pattern. It was probably from a door that broke or a pair of doors. So we will save these and see if we can put them to use in the future. Next, I'm going to put everything that is in reasonably nice condition into a crate, and I'll take that back to my room that has clothes and shoes already, so we can further sort these later. My apologies for the neighborhood dog barking in the background, but I need to film now or I will never get this done. I'd like to keep working on the hallway tonight, and I just want to show you the progress here. So clearly the level of this project is no restoration involved, nothing like that, just cleaning and getting things organized and more usable for ourselves. So now this shoe cupboard right inside our front door actually has our own shoes in it instead of abandoned shoes. And I'm just overjoyed that I found a pair of rubber boots that actually fit me. So now Evan and I both have a nice pair of rubber boots. The other side of the cupboard now has all of Bosco's stuff and our little go bag for dog walks, as well as some outdoor things we use. That would be mosquito coils there and some hot packs. Our neighbors gave those to us for Christmas because they were worried about us working outside so much during the winter cold. We've got hats and scarves, and on top we have a tin for omiyage and little gifts that we can give away when people come over. They'll be right here by the front door and ready to go. This crate over here seems a little bit out of place, but that's put there intentionally. That's got rain clothes in it, and it's a drop-off spot for dirty work clothes. I thought about putting that inside the cupboard, but I thought it'd be better to have outside in something that's easily cleanable. And then these two trays here, these are actually here for a purpose because the wood is a little broken up there, and I come out of this screen and use this step a lot, and these little baskets just happen to fit perfectly and they solve my problem, so I'm not going to crack that wood any further before we can actually restore it. So again, this was just a cleaning and organizing project. Nothing has actually been restored or sanded or stained or anything like that, but it makes our home life just a little bit easier while we're so busy working on our business. In addition to the 3 umbrellas and the box of 5 sets of slippers, I also found this cool metal shoehorn. These are all things that I'm going to clean up. I'll get the rust off of this, and these will all go over to the guest house. Alright, since we're on the subject of shoes, let's just keep this progress going. What I'm going to do to make this efficient but also interesting for the video, I'm going to pull out any that are garbage. Like obviously these sandals here are not going to be usable. I think most of the ones not in boxes probably won't be able to be saved. So I'm going to pull out the shoes that we've got and take them to the dish room for further inspection. It looks like a kitty has also been interested in checking out this shoe cupboard. All the shoes in reasonable condition fit in one crate. And these ones here are destined for the garbage, but I wanted to show them real quick. This one has some mold on it, and these ones, if you're not familiar, those are cockroach droppings. So I'm not even going to touch those, straight into the garbage. Now these ones are absolutely filthy also, but I just wanted to share these because these are the tallest sandals I've seen. Usually the ones that I found throughout the house have height risers that are about half that height. Also, it's interesting to see that these were definitely used. You can tell by how worn the bottom is. Look at the wear pattern on that one. It's definitely more worn on the inside of that sandal. These are a really cute color and they probably fit me, but they are falling apart. That's all the shoes out of the cupboard, and you can see it's pretty gross. That's all cockroach or mouse droppings there. Alright, starting with the yuckiest bits. This is apparently what happens when a rubber shoe sole disintegrates. You get a box full of rubber bits. Looks like grape nuts or something. These are also crumbling into bits, but I just wanted to show them because they're quite stylish. And I guess to corroborate that the shoes found earlier might actually be baseball shoes, these look like baseball shoes to me as well. And in another room, we did find some Ōmishima baseball uniforms, so the story checks out. These are super cute, and I don't have any aspirations to become a vintage shoe reseller, but a couple of these shoes and sandals on display at the retro shop might just help add to the atmosphere that I'm envisioning. These are the last of the sandals here. Now, none of these ones were in boxes, so they're all in questionable condition. However, again, especially these ones over here that have the little toe caps on them, those are adorable. Probably not usable. You can see on the left-hand side the white material is crumbling there. But these are the only two that I've seen come with those little matching toe caps. So I think these can definitely be used for some sort of display. These ones look reasonably cleanable for actual use. Again, these are the only ones in the whole closet that were in a box. We have 3 pairs of men's shoes here, and I very well could be wrong, but it seems like they might be from the time period when shoes were designed to have the soles replaced in order to extend their lifetime. All 3 of these do have the little tacks holding the soles in place, so I don't know a whole lot about leather, and I definitely, again, don't know a lot about vintage shoes, but I wonder if these could be saved. And lastly, we have these 2 ladies' dress shoes that are a bit more of a modern look. So just like the other shoe cupboard, what I'm doing here is just vacuuming it out. You can see what a difference just vacuuming makes. Then I'm going to hit it with some sanitizer and wipe it down. So we're not going to be doing any restoration. This is just cleaning. Now this drawer is the remnants of fishing stuff. Those metal bits are lead weights, I assume for fishing. And lead is heavy, so even though it's not super valuable, it does add up when we take it to the scrapyard. And this is copper, which is a valuable metal, but it's also useful for beekeeping, so that's why we're saving all of our copper. Come here, Sumi. She just let herself in through a hole in our wall. She's healing from her spay surgery. And this is how she gets in to eat cat food. Getting down into some of the boxes that are underneath the cabinet, there's quite a bit more metal, and that is more lead. So I am glad that I put off our next scrap metal recycling run until after going through this area. And then I already have a box of PVC connectors that I can just add this to and make a little bit less clutter. They fit perfectly, but why do you need so many PVC connectors? Dang it. I thought we'd gotten all the fishing nets, but this box has another small net. Each one of those lead weights will need to be cut out by hand, otherwise it can't be thrown away or recycled. Our friend Wayne helped us with some of our nets that we found in the garage before, and I've done a bunch of the nets, and boy, the day after net cutting, your hands really feel it. But I still have to cut all the metal out of this blue, I think it's a crab trap or it's for drying things. So I guess I am going to have one more cutting day to get all the metal out of this. Yuck. If anybody still thinks that buying an Akiya and sorting through the abandoned belongings is in any way glamorous, just show them this video. Fortunately, this is some of the last super yucky stuff we have to go through. Sun's going down, so I can't really see much anymore, but the vacuum makes quick work for cleanup. Managed to get decades and decades of grime just vacuumed up. Then I'll come in and sanitize. This is what ended up in the garbage today. Just some plastic things, another pair of shoes, some really yucky cardboard boxes, broken fishing gear, and a toilet tank float. It is super windy today, which means I can't film anything outside because the audio won't turn out. But I pulled some things out front here for cleaning, and mostly what I'm doing today is prepping for the metal run. Alright, that took me 90 minutes, but I just got all those blue fishnetty things cut off, and I also got all the lead weights cut out of the fishing net. We're getting close to the end of the day here. I wasn't sure if we were going to get enough metal sorted today to make a trip to Imabari make sense tomorrow, but it looks like we're going to have time to start going through some of this, and I think we're going to make it worthwhile. Evan's here to help me make some final decisions on some of this stuff because it might look like junk at first glance, but some of this might actually be useful at some point for construction or on the farm or whatever.
That's useful. This is called a kiseru. It's an old-fashioned Japanese pipe. These are, I guess, fishing weights with the Olympic rings on them. A bunch of old brass locks for sliding doors.
So far, it's looking like most things within reach underneath this tatami mat that are not in a box are pretty easy to make the determination that they are scrap. This is the kind of stuff I'm pulling out. It's an assortment of, looks like planks of wood that some of the things that are in the back underneath probably were originally resting on, but now they've all rotted, so pulling the planks out doesn't really pull anything out with it. We've just got tools, bits of copper wire, pieces of wood. I'm using this little metal stick with a hook on it to pull some of the things out. I'm impressed that the cell phone flashlight and the camera are able to actually get some of this, because it's actually really hard to see with my eyes. The camera is able to see it better, but it's looking like nothing else really interesting back there. Probably just more scrap. I'm gonna dig out what I can today, but probably not gonna get to the rest of this very easily anytime soon. This is what we're keeping out of that. All that green stuff in the front is copper, and the rest is tools and things that Evan will use. This little pyramid-shaped thing here is the heaviest piece of copper we've found. I'm not sure how much it weighs, but that is a beast. As usual, we are running out of daylight and we still have more work to do, but all of this will be going to the scrapyard tomorrow, minus the wheels. I didn't get those off the rims, and this crate needs to be further broken down, but all this will be getting out of here. Yesterday's trip to the scrapyard got us just over 3,000 yen, which is probably around $20. Now, that was just probably about a third of a truckload, so we didn't expect it to be too much, but it's nice to get all that scrap metal out of our yard anyways. I started off the day by cleaning the shoe cupboard that was here, trying to get it sanitized and all that grime off of it, and I ended up deciding that it was worth the risk of potentially ruining it to just take it outside and hose it down, and I think that was the right call. Also, that gives me better access to this back corner, so I can get this cleaner before I put the cupboard back in place. These fishing poles are dusty, but otherwise look to be in really good shape, so I think this is the last of the fishing gear that we're going to find in this house. I'm going to put it with the other fishing gear, which, like many things found in the house, I know nothing about. There is a new fishing gear rental shop on the island for renting out to travelers who don't have their own fishing gear but want to take advantage of the amazing fishing opportunities on the island. And I might take him down and see what he has to say about these, because no clue. We've got a super cute umbrella hiding behind those fishing poles. This one is fabric, which is part of what makes it cute, but also it's probably going to be difficult to clean. But I don't know, maybe if I had a steam cleaner or something, this one might be savable. And I love those little polka dots. This is what the top of the hallway cupboard looks like after 40 years of being abandoned, plus who knows how many decades since it was cleaned on top before that. And this is even after taking off the thin layer of wood and cardboard that was up here to keep the top of the cupboard clean. Easy to see, this part of the project is not super fun or glamorous, but we're going to get back to the fun stuff soon. And while I'm up here, I'm going to go ahead and clean up under these rafters too, since I can reach it from the ladder. Now that this is cleaned up here, I decided to do what they had done before and just learn from them by setting newspaper down. So the next time we go to clean up here, it should be just as easy as removing these newspapers. Also, this doesn't cost anything. I took the broken glass pieces out of these 3 large windows that were here, so that's going to free up some walking space in this room. And I'm not really sure what to do with this glass or the rest of the glass storage. That's something I'm trying to figure out, and something that frequently comes up during these organization projects is it's not just cleaning and moving things around, it's also just making decisions about stuff that it's not going to be used probably anytime soon, but it will be used and it needs to go somewhere in the meantime. So trying to figure out where to put the glass. Alright, well here we are able to walk down the hallway freely. I was not able to move this glass. But that's okay, it doesn't take up too much room. Actually, once I got it in place there, the bottom of the box came undone from the rest of the box, so it's not going anywhere for a little while. These will be the subject of a video coming up soon. These are the chemicals. I believe the last of the chemicals in the house have now all been collected together. I'll put these with the rest, and then I will do a second round trying to get rid of all these chemicals properly. This just looks so much nicer coming in through this side door. We now have a somewhat functional side entrance to the house and a much more comfortable front entrance of the house. I just brought these inside because I'm going to clean them tomorrow and then put them elsewhere in the house. These are 2 wooden crates full of these beautiful red trays. I've set these here to clean, but I'm not going to get to them tonight. These are apparently the walking sticks that the owners of this house would have used to go on the 88 Temples of Shikoku pilgrimage. Both owners of our house, during their lifetimes, went on the 88 Temple pilgrimage together, completed all the stamps on the scroll, and we've now found all 4 walking sticks. Now to end the video, we're going to take a look at what's inside this tube. As a reward for making it through this very dirty cleaning video, let's take a look together. I brought this upstairs where it's relatively clean so we can unroll it. We took a little peek at it earlier and considered unrolling it outside, but the little bit that we saw, I think we want a clean, safe space to do this. Well, that's a disappointment. It's actually nothing. The part of the graph paper that we unrolled, we were only able to see this edge, and it looked like some sort of seismograph paper or something really interesting. And then it stops. Just plain graph paper. One long tube of plain graph paper. It's still interesting though. What do y'all think this is? So this whole graph section is handwritten. It looks like the graph is done by hand as well. You see those little dots there. Any ideas what this might be?
Well, I have successfully transferred much of the dirt from our Akiya onto my person, but we made some much needed improvements here. So I'm going to go take a shower. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Benton Homestead.